Not at all. What should I do? There's what we expect to happen. But I want our people to be very calm. I want Biafra land to be calm, and peaceful. Calm and very, very peaceful. We are fighting to defend our people. Not to kill them. Yes. We are fighting to defend them. That's why I'm here. Yes. And we'll continue to do so until we get victory.
Fortunately, we don't reason like that. Anybody thinking that Igbo presidency 2023 will stop us? What we want is Biafra, and what we're going to get is Biafra.
Not at all. What should I do? There's what we expect to happen. But I want our people to be very calm. I want Biafra land to be calm, and peaceful. Calm and very, very peaceful. We are fighting to defend our people. Not to kill them. Yes. We are fighting to defend them. That's why I'm here. Yes. And we'll continue to do so until we get victory.
Declare no election, no 2023 general election in Biafra land. This no election in Biafra land has been activated. We are going to make it a task that must be done by every Biafran. All measures will be put in place to make sure the adequate civil disobedience is implemented to stop the election.
Hello, lovers of Biafrans all over the nations of the world. Every one of you, compliment of the Sunday. Today is another special day, and I want to appreciate every one of you for joining. And I say welcome. Today is the 16th of October, 2022, and I want to thank you all for joining me in this live broadcast. Today is the first day of a new week. And today is the last day we are given the zoo to release Nnamdi, and then we're going to begin to take them to another level of water. And that is what we have decided to do. I want to welcome you first to this live broadcast. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and this is Biafra Global Network. And I want you, please, to share right now as you watch. You like the video, and then you share to on all your social media platforms, and get the people to join us right away. Share to both your friends and your enemies, because your enemies need to learn. Those people who have decided to make themselves e-frogs, and those who have decided to fight Mazi Nnamdi by fighting Mazi Simon Ekpa, send to them, let them also listen to the truth, because faith comes by hearing, and hearing consistently will also stir up in them a new life, because the hearing they are going to hear is the hearing of truth. What we dish out is the fact and the truth that they need to know, and that is why we're here. I want to welcome you to this live broadcast, and I want to say, wherever you are, I know you're enjoying the day. I know you are preparing for a new week of greater things. I know that you are preparing for what we are about to enter, this dispensation and this time. You know, we are actually closer to our freedom than ever. We are closer than ever. We are closer to our freedom. And of course, Mazi Nnamdi will be released released, whether they like it or not. We are determined, and then we are determined, and we're going to prove to them that we are determined. Today, they have less than 24 hours, which we have given to them to release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. We know that they're going to want to play their games. And as I told you last time, you know, I told you that Malami is part of those who designed the ruling, and then they want to play double games. Remember, if you remember, you'll know that the system of Nigeria is actually the caliphate system, as I told you. And the caliphate system means that the power to do anything resides in the sultan. The power resides in the caliphate. The caliphate decides alongside with the sultan, and they make their decisions, and then they implement their decisions. And that is what they do. So whatever the appeal court, you know, whatever the appeal court actually gave as judgment is what they have decided. And then they want to play the game this way. The appeal court decides, and they decide on the behalf of the appeal court. They decide and give the judgment to the appeal court. The appeal court announces it, and then Malami will now come out and say contrary, so to see how the people will react. Just distractions. All of these are just the concept of distraction. And then when he announces this in his own way and he interprets it in his own way, we will all begin to react. You must release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. You must do this. We'll do this. Blah blah blah. They just do that, and then he will now come up again and saying that he has to appeal this case to the Supreme Court. All these things are designed to buy time, and then they know about the judgment of the appeal court. Then they now make the appeal court give that judgment, because they are the ones who actually gave them that judgment. And then Malami will now come, so that the people will think that the land is lawful, so that the people will think that the courts are very potent, so that the people will think that the courts are actually the court respects law, and the court is not actually contaminated by their caliphate program. So they make it look like the court is in line with the international law, based on the fact that there have been an international outcry, and based on the fact that the international community is looking seriously on this. And so they make the court now give that judgment. And then after the court gives judgment, and Chineke, God bless you guys. Thank you so much, Obioma. Thank you for that compliment, and God bless you too. Now they make the appeal court give that judgment. Now the appeal court gives the judgment because they wrote the judgment and give to the appeal court. The appeal court comes up with that judgment and give it. They already have in mind what they're going to do, so they send Malami on air. The court's judgment makes you excited, makes us dance, and makes us happy. You know, then we say, okay, yes, we can get justice from the court. The courts can give us justice. And then after that, Malami will now come and cause confusion. And then our people now become divided. Malami, you must release him. Malami, you must obey court orders. The same courts that Malami gave the judgment, people will now begin to say, Malami, you must obey court orders. You must obey court orders. And then Malami will now tell you, yes, we are going to obey court orders, but there are some facts we need the courts to actually look into. So we are going to the appeal the Supreme Court. And then everybody now begins to say, hey, he wants to go to the Supreme Court, but you must release Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. And then they use it to buy, and then they keep telling you that, yes, yeah, we know that the appeal courts have given the judgment, but we are going to obey that, and we're going to do that, but we want the Supreme Court to actually give clarification on some matters. Then they use it to buy time. They now forward it, and then we will be there saying, release him, don't release him. Okay, since they're going to release him, let's join in the elections. Let's join and be part of the election. Since as long as the Supreme Court, the appeal court have said it, it must happen. You know, they keep us in that level of being very busy. I pray for you, my beloved brother Kelechi. My God will direct your teaching today to yield results in the lives of all Biafrans. Amen. Alex Uche, thank you for that prayer. Oh my God, this is a wonderful prayer. This is a wonderful prayer. This is a wonderful prayer. Thank you so much. I'm delighted for this prayer. It's wonderful. It's a great one, you know, because it's only God that directs our teaching and all of that, so that we'll be able to be in line with what we're supposed to do, and in line with what he has called us to do, and in line with what he wants to do in us as Biafrans, and in line with where we are going. So thank you so much. I'm delighted for that prayer. As I was saying, now they now come and they set that confusion. We get excited, we get busy, and then before you know it, it gets closer to the court. The time of the elections, and then they tell us, okay, we are going to release him. You know, appeal court has said that we should release him, and we are only waiting for the Supreme Court to give some particular, clarification to what we are trying to get from this. We are going to release him, of course. We are not saying we are not going to release him, but let the Supreme Court give clarification. By then, it is closer to the elections. They now say, okay, allow the elections to go on. The Supreme Court is still on. The Supreme Court will still talk about this matter, but just allow the elections to go on, and you people can join in the elections. Let's do these things together. We're all in this thing. Your leader will be released to you. Now you see the game. So they want to use this. That is why we have decided in the autopilot, in the autopilot mode, that we are going to handle them very, very well. We know every step and everything they will be doing. We know every action they will be taking. We know what they are planning before they plan it. We know they are going to do all of this, to appease the minds of the people, because they know we are very resolute against election in Biafra land. They know we are very knowledgeable about the issues and dictates of election. They know that we know that elections are actually instruments to endorse another term of 4 years for them, so that they can continue their impunity. So they need that endorsement to continue to be established, so that they can go on with the impunity, and then we will now go back to status quo and start thinking of what we need to do in the next 4 years to get them down. And by then you have already endorsed a 4-year term for them. By then you have already endorsed. So they want to bring this confusion and make us feel that, yes, they are obeying court orders, or the courts are actually in favor of Nnamdi Kanu, and the courts are actually in favor of the IPOB movement. The courts are actually in order. And so we would want to relax, because since the court has given this judgment, they expect us, because they know we are civil people. So they say, okay, since they know that we were going to say that as much as the court have given the order, we will now relax and say, okay, let's allow the court, because we're not animals. They know we're not animals. They know that we're not even less than animals, because the Fulanis are less than animals, because animals don't behave that way anyway. So the animals are even better. If they behave like animals, it will be better, because in the realm of being an animal, you can now at least know how people can behave. They cannot be this terrible, but by the fact that they are lesser than animals, we know who they are. So now they know that we are civil people, so they know that when they allow the court to say the right thing, we will now want to relax, and then we would now want to wait for the court. We will not want to go violent. Thank you, Mrs. Adazayan, for joining. Good afternoon from here too. I salute you this first day of the week, and thank you for joining. I actually had to come by 4 p.m. 5 p.m. Biafra time today, because of some factors that actually delayed me to come by 1 p.m. So I know that most people are not aware of this. Just click the notification button, so that whenever we're coming on, you can see when we're coming on. And wherever you are watching from, wherever you are, just click the notification button and also subscribe. Then you'll get notification whenever we're coming on. Because here we preach the gospel the way it's supposed to be, and we say the truth the way it's supposed to be, and we reveal facts in every of the activities of the enemies. And that is basic. What I'm saying right now is basic. Now they know that we are people who are law-abiding. They know we are civil. They know that we are reasonable people. So they know that when they give the court the order to actually say that Nnamdi Kanu is free, is acquitted, is discharged, acquitted, and also is innocent, it is illegal to have extraordinarily renditioned him, then they give the court the go ahead to say that, because the international community is also watching, and at the same time they know we are civil. They know that when we hear these facts, we are going to we might lay down our arms, and then we might soft pedal, so that we can expect them to release him to us. So they know that when they say these things, we're going to relax. So they believe now that they have used that to make us relax. And then the next plan is that they will now use their Malami, to start playing games. And then Malami will now come and begin to say what he has to say. He will now come to say that, yes, they have given the judgment, and we understand the judgment, and the judgment is clear, but there's some things we need to clarify from the Supreme Court. We have to appeal this, because the process in our legal system is that when you're not satisfied with a judgment, the judgment they gave to the appeal court to give, to make the people relax, and then they now come on with the fact, that so we now have to get the appeal court to appeal the Supreme Court to appeal this in the Supreme Court, so that we can now get clarification. And then with that process, we know, and you will keep saying that, yes, as much as the appeal court have said it, the Supreme Court also will say it. So you want to wait for the Supreme Court, and then the Supreme Court will now give its date in a later time. And now you are hearing again, we're hearing that some news are flying around that the Supreme Court is actually refusing, is turning it down, the appeal. These are all gimmicks, because they know that we are very serious. They have seen the seriousness in our action. So they know that this issue of appeal courts, Supreme Court, will not work with them. We have already given them ultimatum. So based on that fact, they don't want to be humiliated. I'm actually expecting you earlier. Welcome, though. May God strengthen you. Yes, I was supposed to come earlier, but some things just dragged me, back, and I couldn't actually make it. And as soon as it exceeded that 1 p.m., I have to move it to 5 p.m. because whenever I want to make it a static time, if it is not 5 p.m., it is 1 p.m. So that it will be at least it will be predictable. That is why. So now what they now do is this: the appeal court concludes its own shenanigan, which they wrote and gave to the appeal court. Now Malami takes over. He now gives some stuff. They watch our reaction. When they see that we are not comfortable with Malami's actions, they know we were civil people. We may not want to fight, but we'll tell him that. But now they have seen that by Malami's actions, we are very uncomfortable, and we have given ultimatum, 48 hours. They now come to say the Supreme Court is rejecting this. If the Supreme Court is rejecting it, it simply means that they have to release him. So they are playing the game, watching our reaction. If the thing gets intense, if they see something unusual happen, they would now quickly release him, saying that the Supreme Court actually rejected. So since the Supreme Court actually rejected, we actually have to release him because the courts have said. They don't want to feel humiliated. They don't want to look like they were humiliated, They don't want to look like they actually released him because they are threatened by the people. They want to make it look like it is the courts that actually made it possible for them to release him. That was why the masked man, who is their president, the masked president, was saying the other time that they will have to wait for the courts to make the orders. When people were talking about political solution, and the man said that they have to wait for the courts, to actually give for the due process of courts to take its place, and all of that. That is all a gimmick to watch the people's action and determine what the courts will say by the people's action. So when they saw that we have become very resolute and we are beginning to deal with them through the water code, they decided to allow the appeal court to say something, because their intention is to hold him after the election. And then when the next government comes, and the next government will now decide what they do from there, because the next government will want to actually continue. So they want to retain power. They want to eat their own money. They want to make their own money. They want to still keep doing the bunkering in the Niger Delta, in Biafra land. They still want to be doing stealing the monies of the people. They still want to endorse their criminality. So they would want to, of course, suppress. And then the people will now be looking forward to the next 4 years to see if they will be able to do something about that. So that is the template. But now we have come to tell them now, according to the topic we have today, Nnamdi Kanu and Biafra freedom. Now, the major actions we are taking right now, the things we are doing right now, is concerning Nnamdi Kanu's freedom. And we know that those people who actually sold him, have actually decided and doing so much in the background, both spiritually and physically, to make sure that he's not released. We know that, and thank God that Emeka Ihedioha has come out to debunk that postings that we saw online. So we are actually not going to attribute that to him, but we know that many things are going on underground, both spiritually. People are going to juju houses, going to shrine houses to say so many things, to invoke so many things. Edith Nedu, God bless you too. Good evening, Mazi Kelechi. Happy Sunday. Compliment, Edith. Welcome to this broadcast. I've been actually looking forward to your message. So thank you for joining me here, and I welcome you too. And I know that you are enjoying your Sunday, and you have prepared some nice dish for the Sunday. Maybe you have to send mine across so that as I talk, I keep munching, I keep taking something. So now they know all of these, and then the program have been set. So we know all of these and what they are doing. Now you saw that the confession of these people who sold Nnamdi Kanu, they're coming one after the other. If you go to Twitter, you see Mazi Simon Ekpa have tweeted something about that. The part 2 of their confession has come out. Mama Abbas is implicated. He's indicted in the confession, and there are about 10 of them who sold Nnamdi Kanu. Lots of things are coming out. You can't hide for long. that is why I said the freedom and the tactics that we are using and utilizing here is in mystery. It resides in mystery. Now, I will explain that to us because some people may not understand when we say some things are resident in mystery. The word mystery is from the mysteria, from the word mysteria, and it means that something that is shrouded, and hidden from the natural eyes or from the natural mind, something that is not actually, known by physical or natural means. Do you really believe Emeka Iheda? Do you believe his denial? Well, we know that most of these people are actually criminal. I know I have worked for Emeka Iheda before in 2015. I went with him from one community to the other, talking to people to vote for him. So I know their criminality. Most of the things they say, they don't actually do. I went with him with alongside this. Let me not mention the other man so that people don't know, because if I mention the other man in the Senate, people may use it to want to know what part of Biafra land I'm from. But for now, what part of Biafra I'm a Biafran, so I'm not going to mention the exact part. So Emeka Iheda, I know all of them. I know what they do. I know their cunning moves and their cunning ways. And so let's just take it on that face that he said he denies it. And of course, when people deny things, that means they are afraid of what the repercussion and the consequences, or the consequence. So let's say that he has respected us, respected IPOB to actually debunk, that stuff. Even if it's possible that he wrote it and intends to deny it, they have a way of sending their messages. And when it wants to backfire, they have a way of, taking them back. So let's just put it at that point, that he actually didn't say it based on the fact that he has debunked, the stuff. He has denied that he actually did that. And, and so let's leave him on that. Let's just take it on that level because we understand the game. That is why he said, no matter what the game and the design and what they do, we know them. We know their games. We know how they will be coming and we'll be handling them from that time. That is the way they come. That is why you see that Mazi Simon Ekpa said he should now clarify this. And now he came out to debunk it. Simon Ekpa now saying he has debunked it. So we put it on that level so that we can always be in control because we don't need to argue with him. We take it that he has actually, said he has actually denied that and he's not the one who did it. So now we understand that he's not the one who did it based on the fact that now he believes and he strongly believes that we're in control, so he cannot do anything against us. You mean Senator EA or IA? Oh my! I love this, and let the people do the guessing, whichever, if it is EA or IA or even AE or whatever, let the people do the guessing. And one of these days they're going to come to know, when as soon as Biafra is restored, they will now come to know. And then we will now celebrate together. That is when now we'll all come all out and begin to celebrate. By then we would have taken the evil people from our midst because our land must be a land of peace, a land of milk and honey, a land flowing with milk and honey. That is what God have designed for us. Our land is a land of milk and honey and peace. Now, let me tell you something. God has actually promised freedom for Biafra, and God has actually designed freedom for Biafra. I told you something initially. Oh my God, Mrs. That's why I say she caught me there. If you catch me, no other person. Let me see how people are going to catch me. If they know they have caught me, let them now say it out plainly. Make the vision plain and straight. Let the people know how they can run with it. We are making the vision plain anyway, straight. So we actually use the concept of putting words in between words and then sealing them up in between words. No sound. Is the sound is out? Christopher Wanfo says no sound. Please, can I confirm that there is no sound? My system here is right. And my system here is right. Christopher Wanfo, he said no sound. You have to check your system. Please, if I can get an update from anybody. Mrs. Adaza, please confirm if there's no sound for me. And then also Edith Nedu, you can confirm if there's no sound. So, and any other person who's watching, I've not been able to know those who are watching. I only know, there is sound. Okay, there is sound. So Christopher and Wanfo, check your system and let's know that you are actually connected. So yes, you said you caught me there. Well, I wouldn't say anything. Gloria, is it okay? Okay, sound is clear. Okay, thank you, Gloria. Thank you so much. There's sound. Okay, Gloria, thank you for That's clarification. Thank you for that clarification. I hope Christopher is not a member of the other side who actually want to get me distracted from what I'm saying. Because we understand all of those games. We are very, we Biafrans, we're very sensitive to matters. But I'm not accusing him anyways, so that I don't accuse him wrongly. I know that you are here in truth and in spirit, and you are working for truth and justice, and you are working for the freedom of Biafra, and you believe in Biafra freedom, and you are actually part of what we are doing. And of course, we have to know Edith. Okay, Edith, thank you. There is sound. Thank you so much. So from the mouth of 1, 2, 3 witnesses, the truth is established. So Christopher Nwafo, please check your system so that you can be sure that there's something is right with everything, and then you can listen to us, or you log off and go back to it so that you can actually get it done. So as I was saying now, when we talk about mystery, because what we are doing in Biafra struggle or Biafra freedom liberation movement work and actions is about first mystery. And mystery is a spiritual term for something that is kept away from the natural eyes or from unnatural access. To access mystery, you must plunge into the realm of the spirit. You must plunge into the realm of mysteria, or the realm of spiritual things, or the realm. And how you can achieve that is that you must be very intuitive. That means your intuitive mind must connect to the realm of your spirit to access the world of mystery, so that you can drag into the realm of the now or natural the details and the concepts that are hidden in mystery. Basically, the reason why we have so many enemies and most of the things that we have and people who fight the truth is that they have not come to terms with the facts of truth based on mystery's content. And of course, in mystery, the things that are hidden in the archives of eternity are actually based. In mystery, the things that are hidden in the archives of eternity are actually hidden. In mystery, the things that are kept in the archives of eternity are actually eternal. But they become materials for our use when we bring them by accessing mystery or accessing the spiritual to bring them into now. Nnamdi Kanu came into this system after he had been able to access the realm of mystery to understand the plan of God for Biafra. He actually had this desire, natural desire, after the issues that Biafra experienced after the war, and that was why he was with Wazirike doing the work, and that was why he was with the people doing the work, and that was why he was actually Mrs. Moran Hanks. You're welcome. Thank you. Good evening. Welcome. I've been actually waiting for your message. Thank God I've gotten it right now. You're welcome. Joining, and I know that. And we are all busy where we are, and we're doing our beats, but some of us have decided to be part of this, and I want to thank you all for joining. And now I'm just trying to give us an update on issues of mystery, because if you understand the concept of mystery, you will not betray the cause that you are in. If you understand the cause of mystery, you will not actually go against a particular order that you don't understand. Because the reason why people go against a particular order is because they have not plunged themselves into the realm of knowledge to actually know why some things are. And sometimes you have to look at the nature of things based on the past. The nature of things are revealed sometimes when you look at the past, and then aligning it with what you can actually deduce from the realm of mystery to be able to have a balance. Biafra as a nation has a spiritual past. Am I correct? I think I'm making sense. Please, if you don't understand what I'm saying, just send me a message. I'm going to explain better, or you can decide to make a call if you want to call, and I will explain better, because the purpose here is for us to learn together. And the purpose here is for us to actually have what we learn and utilize them for the revitalization of the nation of Biafra. The reason why Biafra must be the best in the world is because Biafra must be a land of learning, a land of intelligence, a land of wisdom, not just a land of knowledge, but a land of wisdom, because it is by intelligence you exude wisdom. because intelligence make you understand the usage of smartness, and then with information or knowledge to actually get to the realm of wisdom by understanding. So definitely, if we're going to get to that, we have to deal with things very well. Mrs. Morahens is greeting us, so Muchineke, take that greeting. Now we continue. Now, Nnamdi came to the scene because now the reason why we all became his disciples or his followers is because we actually became possessed by that thing he was able to extract from the realm of the spirit. If you remember in 2017, when he escaped death through the power of God because of the hand of God upon his life, you discover that the place he went after some time was Israel. And Israel is significant to the freedom of Biafra. You know why? Because Israel is a significant birthing, mother birthing product, a mother birthing embodiment of Biafra. What do I mean by that? We came out of the lions of Israel. Israel is the name that God gave to Jacob. Israel became the name of the nation from Jacob. So Jacob gave birth to God, who is the seventh son, who gave birth to Eri and other people who actually left and came to form the nation of Biafra. So we trace our source to the nation of Israel. Now, when he got into that realm of confusion and when his life was being threatened or when his life was in danger and he escaped that, the first thing he did was to go to Israel. Now, in Israel, he was able to reconnect powerfully and strongly. And by the time he appeared, he had more disciples and followers. In fact, why I came to become part of his disciple was because when he was captured in 2015, I saw his resilience, his strength, his continuity, his tenacity, his zest and all of that. And that alone made me decide to continue and to be with him. And since then, I've been his ardent follower, listening to his broadcast, listening to his message, tapping from the realm of mystery and the realm of knowledge God has given to him. And from the information I was getting from him, I was able to plunge into spiritual things. How? I began to make my research on my own. I began to seek to find, and that is you'll be surprised as Biafrans, for the first time after Mazi Nnamdi Kanu, issue with the government in 2015, I decided to know things about where I come from. That was the first time I decided to now visit. Formerly, I don't anything that has to do with Biafra, especially the Igbos, where I come from. I don't want to have anything to do with it because I felt that our people are wicked, our people are too greedy, our people are too, because of the relationship we've had with them in Lagos and wherever we have lived in. Because I didn't grow up in the village, so I didn't have to know all those details. And so I had this mindset because of maybe the uncles I had, the relations I had, and I have not had. Sorry. Still in the continuous tense, I have the relatives I have and all of that. I had a negative notion about Igbos by the fact from my relatives and those people who stayed in our house, who were close to us, who were coming after the family, who were attacking the family and all of that. So I have this. So whenever we travel, when we're little, it goes to the village, we just feel restless. We want to leave and we don't stay more than 1 week. We're out. We're back to where we are, whether Lagos or wherever we are, we were. So I had this mindset growing up about Igbos, and I didn't want to have anything to do with my identity. In fact, I was pro Britain and pro America. I just want to be a citizen of America. I didn't really have that flair for Britain right from time anyways, but anything that has to do with US or Canada or so, I want to be part of it. So I had this mentality that was deficient of my origin or my source. It was deficient and it affected the way I thought, the way I reasoned, the way I operated. So I became a slave to my thoughts because my thought was actually corrupted by a wrong notion about my source, because I have not experienced a touch, a connection with mystery. Mystery, as I told you, is the product of the spiritual, which actually shields or keeps away information from the natural. Mystery is the avenue in which we can access the spiritual and then begin to get and extract things that will actually help our natural to make sense. So as soon as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu was restored and he came into that point of where he withstood the Nigeria government, and I heard him. In fact, what shook me very strongly was when I heard him thunder in court and said that you cannot jail me. Go tell Buhari you can't jail me. I saw a man who is, what do I call it now? Drenched by a force that is higher than him. In that pain, in his shackle, with everything around him, the guns, the bullets, the evil, the Fulanis, every evil around him, he stood, he said, "You can't jail me. You can't jail me. I know my rights. I'm a Biafran and I stand for my people. You can't jail me." And he stood and spoke to the world. I said, wow, this is courage. But this courage must emanate from something that is beyond this man. Then I started going into research. I want to make people who are still betraying this cause to understand this, because the topic here is we're talking about the freedom and how the dirty games they're playing. And of course, for us to achieve this kind of knowledge, we can know, they should know that we actually know their games. I thought like you before. Okay, Edith Nedu, okay. Wow, I have someone who actually had this kind of mindset. I was so pro-American. I just wanted to be an American. In fact, if you ask me, I'll tell you I'm an American. I'm not a Nigerian. I'm not a Biafran. Yeah, we'll say a Nigerian. I'm not a Nigerian. Of course, right from when I was little growing up, I have actually hated Nigeria. I don't know why. Nobody told me anything about it. I didn't know anything about Nigeria. I didn't know details and history, because in school we were not taught history. We were not taught, facts and details about Nigeria, So we just know that we are Nigerians according to what they told us, according to what our parents have told us. They are the means where culture and traditions are transferred into us. So the British culture and tradition were given to our parents, and they now begin to transfer them into us. They told us we're Igbos, but we're Nigerians, and so we grew up thinking we're Nigerians. But I just hated the concept of Nigeria because I didn't like anything Nigeria. As much as that Nigeria was like a cynosure to the Igbo. So linking Igbo to Nigeria was like it was one thing. So I didn't know at that time that the Igbo race is different from the Nigeria contraption. I didn't actually look at the Nigeria system as a contraption because I didn't have that knowledge in the sense. We just understood about amalgamation. We were told about amalgamation. We were told that there is an amalgamation, but we were not told that we just had the details that Nigeria, they brought us and then they united us and unity began. So they gave us a perspective that the amalgamation was for the purpose of unity and for us to live as one and have peace and unity and harmony and have a bigger country, a big country, and become the biggest in West Africa, in Africa, the biggest dark colored people in West Africa and all over Africa will become the giant of Africa. All those kind of shenanigans and details, they actually buried our minds in ignorance, that we actually suffered the consequences of all of these because if we actually knew the right thing at the time we are supposed to know them, maybe by now we would have gotten Biafra, because we would have started the fight earlier before now. But anyways, God has his way of operating. That is why I told you about mystery. Now, the water code that we use as slang is actually a product of mystery that people don't understand. It is a sign and a product that God is using as a means of stirring up the desire, in the people of Biafra to actually respond to what he is doing. What do I mean? Do you know that sometimes you actually respond to things you are familiar with than things you are not familiar with? Let me explain that more. The name Water sounds radical in the sense of it, because I think it's from I think it's this warrior kind of slang, water. So people want to just, it's amusing when you hear that kind of word, it amuses the people, it amuses the mind, and it amuses the way you behave. So you want to say some stuff, water. So everybody wants to identify with some stuff that everybody's saying that amuses. Now, that is when the mindset of the people is attracted and drawn into the concept of what that means. Because before they begin to think about the details of that or begin to respond to the details of that thing, they actually begin to look at that word first and how amusing it is. The more amusing something is, the more it is becomes part of the people's agenda or the people's slang or the people's language. For instance, if you go to the concept of marketing in business, there's something very important about marketing. That important thing is branding. Branding makes people get familiar with a product, because branding draws the attention of people because it gives them an attraction. Tina Martin sauce. Tina Martinsos. Welcome, 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 Tina Martinsos. Sorry, I'm doing a critical teaching here, by this lesson. I actually didn't think I was going to go this way, but because of the way I as just like my brother prayed, Okafo. Is it Okafo who prayed that prayer? He said something in this prayer. He said, okay, Alex Uche, he said, I pray for you, my brother Kelechi. He said something. He said, I pray for you, my brother Kelechi. My God will direct your teaching today to yield results in the life of Biafran. And I don't know, these kind of prayers are very, very significant because God somehow directs our minds. When I come on live like this, I actually have a topic and then I depend on God to teach me what to say to the people. I just, before I go live, I just say, God, tell me what to tell the people. Because this work we are doing is spiritual. It's critically spiritual. And you need to dip yourself and soak yourself and drench yourself in the spiritual the sphere and allow the spirit control you and overwhelm you and encapsulate you so that you can deal with matters according to the spiritual description and spiritual revelation. So that's what I do. So when I come, the spiritual begin to direct me on what to tell Biafrans. So that's what I'm telling you right now. So evening, my pastor, Ambrose Kale, and Harry. You know why I'm happy you called Harry anyways. At least it's my name anyways. But you know why I decided to remove Harry? It's my name anyways. I'm not debunking that. But Harry, I want to become from where I want to sound where I'm from. Because those days when you were called Harry, when you're called your local name like Kelechi, you need to say, what kind of name is that? Please call me a refined name. I want to be refined. I want to be refined. I want to be refined. So thank you. Kale, I like the way you call my name anyway, Kale. I can now understand why you are so deep. You are a pastor, a genuine one. My brother, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Yes, I am. I will not dispute that. I'm a pastor, yes. I've been working as a pastor, growing churches in the zoo, helping ministries. I began with Assemblies of God Church, and then I became a pastor, joining Church of God Mission, and then joining Chapel of Praise, and doing so many things for Abundant Life Church and Church of Evangelism, working for them, beginning pastoring for them, opening branches around outside Lagos for them, opening their branches and doing some stuff, and God using me to do what He did, anyways. I thank God because God is telling me that the work He has given to you is not to go and stand on the pulpit and begin to tell people and tell them to pay tithe and offering, but you come and teach the people, teach Biafrans, because Biafra is my nation. The nation of Biafra is my church. So if I'm going to speak to people real time, then I'm going to tell them the truth. And the only truth I can tell them will take me away from the pulpit, because the pulpit will only keep me at the point of telling them what they will love and prophesying in their lives and telling them to come and give offering. But on this platform, I'm not going to ask for offering. I'm just going to speak the word and tell them what God has given to me. Because when God begins to heal the minds of Biafrans, those who are betraying will be restored. When God begins to heal our mind, we begin to come together in that force, to do what we have to do, And Edith says, you described my experience, Mazi. We love you. Thank you so much, Edith. Thank you so much. Wow. So this part of your experience. Wow. I love that. At BGN, you are welcome to today's broadcast. May God Chukwu Kiabiama be with you. He say, my brother, Okenwa Nwachineke. Thank you for joining. Thank you for joining. I was actually ordained in the year 2000 as a pastor, and then I started the work, doing some diploma course in that regard, and then that's why sometimes I delve into theology, because when I'm teaching, I try to, thank you so much wow, that's awesome. Thank you, Emmanuel. Thank you. So I just allow God to use me to speak to the people, and then that's what the work I'm doing. So now, the reason for this is for us to receive our freedom, and then Biafra will become a nation of knowledge. Remember, we are building Biafra in the name of Chukwu Okike. So a nation that understands God. Because the reason why, let me tell you the reason why these nations who call themselves developed nations are in trouble. When, as according to how Nnamdi puts it, of course, that's how it is. Britain, actually, the development began when the people began to say that, when the people began to think, real talk, I love that. Biafra Nation is our church, and that is where we worship. Yes, my sister, Biafra Nation is our church. This is our platform. This is our church. Talking to Biafrans is talking to the church, because the church is God's and God's is the church. So if what we are doing is of Chukwuko Okike Abiyama, then we are the church. It's not just building one ministry somewhere and sitting down waiting for them to bring tithe and offering. If they don't bring, you tell them that they are cursed. That is not the will of God. And that is why with the monies we spend, we are spending it for the work of to restore the church, Biafra Nation. We want to restore the church, Biafra Nation. We spend the money. These broadcasts are making cost money. The ESN we are using cost money. All of these are meant to restore the nation of Biafra. So we are actually working towards restoration of our church, because we are the people of God. And that's why Jesus said, I will build my church, ecclesia. I will build my ecclesia, my church. Ecclesia means my called out ones. Church means called out ones. So if you think that church is one building or structure or people coming under one denomination, to know that word, I will build my church. If you go to the Grecian word, the Grecian word is ecclesia. Grecian word is ecclesia. I will build my church. Ecclesia means called out ones. So God is saying, I will build my called out ones, and the gates of hell shall not prevail against them. What is the gates of hell we're talking about here now? Is it not the Fulanis? The Fulanis, the Nigerian system, the British system, they are the gates of hell. They can't prevail. We pay our tithes now to ESN, send and restoration for our church, Biafra Nation. Yes, so Tina Martins, thanks that you understand this in the light of what I'm trying to say. Thank you so much for that understanding. So what we're doing here is critically restoring the called out ones, which is the church. So let's understand church in the real meaning, the called out ones. So being the called out ones, we already understand who we are. We already understand what we are. We already understand where we're going. So that we can walk in right wisdom of what we're expecting. Now, I'm drawing our minds to the realm of mystery. If you remember, if you check the title of this broadcast, you'll discover that I mentioned something. I talked about our tactics is in the realm of mystery. Now, that is where I want to point out the fact of what we're doing. The realm of mystery. The realm of mystery. The realm of mystery. Now, Emmanuel Alfred, I like interactive session like this where people send messages. It helps me also, things come into my mind. God drops something into my mind and I say them out to us. So keep interacting. I like it. So I read out whatever you say, and then it helps me also to build a mindset to speak on some particular things. To the business of the day, water must multiply. The only freedom that is benefiting for our leader, MNK, is the restoration of Biafra. Glory to God for a successful youth fundraising. It was fun, yes, and then more of that will be coming, and of course we are getting closer, and this will be from the basis. That is why we are doing what we're doing. The youth fundraising was fun because the people are beginning to key into what we're doing, and because the people are beginning to understand the fundamental nature of what we're doing. So the fundamental nature of what we're doing actually opens the minds of the people to what we're doing, so that they begin to follow accordingly. Now, by the fact that I have explained the concept, of the church, to us. Sorry, I saw a message, so I was trying to know how important it is. Now, the fact that I've opened some people's eyes now to the concept of the church, you begin to understand it, that it is not about the structure. You see, it's about the people. The nation of Biafra has the church in it, because the church is the people. But we must restore the people. The gates of hell have been unleashed over us. The Fulanis, the British, we have been subjugated for over 100 years, beginning with British colonization. Beginning with British colonization, we have been in this. Now it is time that Chukwuokike wants to use every one of us to free our nation, free us, and so that we can function as the church he has made us. The called out ones he has made us. The Biafra land is a land of milk and honey. But to enjoy these benefits, we must be free. But if we are not free, the Fulanis will keep taking what belongs to us. That is why scripture talks about the masters walking on foot, and the servants sitting on the horses. That means the servants taking the place of the masters. How can God give us a land as rich as we have? In fact, recently, in Enugu, the gas reserve has been discovered. We have so much in our land, and yet we allow infidels, we allow people who shouldn't be even able to wear our shoes, to actually take what belongs to us. God bless you, Mazi. Your teaching is awesome. Thank you, Christopher Nwafo. Thank you so much. Now I know you are a strong Biafran. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Christopher. I'm grateful to hear from you. Now, how can we sing the Lord's song in a strange land? How can we be the masters and we are walking on foot, whereas the servants are sitting on the horses? That is what has happened. That is why the church is suffering. But because the British have given us a false system of church, they made us corrupted these politicians who came as pastors and came in different means, being used by the caliphate and all of that to create branches and call them churches. And they begin to make you think that church is all about paying tithe and offering somewhere, and they begin to build edifices and build some things that will favor them. And they keep you away from building your nation. How can you say you get peace and enjoy milk and honey when your nation is in bondage? Tina Martins, to me, including the youths to get involved in the restoration of Biafra is another well-planned and executed new dimension. Thanks to everyone who brought the idea. Yes, that's good. That's true. Bringing the youth together for that purpose was very unique and very, very, very unique. Very, very unique concept. So that we all can come into this and do what we have to do. Very, very unique concept. You know, Abaugidi. I don't know how to pronounce. I don't know why I don't know how to pronounce this name very well. It sounds like Yoruba to me, so I'm pronouncing it like Yoruba thing. Agbaogidi. My brother Kedu Ka Imelo. Remain blessed. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you. I'm fine. I'm fine. So now, that is it. So now to be included, yes, yesterday was powerful, and we are going to have more of this. Now remember, I was telling us when I began this thing that the concept of Malami and the system he has adopted alongside with the corrupt caliphate, using the courts as a means of Takia. You know, everything they do is lies. That is why the word Takia is very common. When it comes to Islamic conquest, Takia is the major tool. Everything they do is resident in the concept of Takia. That is why I told you that we understand them from beginning to the end because we know what their tool is, Takia. We know their tool. That's why the Bible calls the devil the father of lies. As much as you know what is lie, you will definitely conquer lie. So the reason why today we can conquer the devil is because we know he is a liar. He's a liar. Please, can you address my concern about Mazi Kanu? Should Onyendu visit Biafra land immediately he's released, or should he travel out of that zoo immediately to receive medical attention? Now, my brother, once Onyendu enters Biafra land, he is secure. Don't be afraid of anything. Once Onyendu enters Biafra land, he's secure. From that point, we will know what to do because his movement will be, well, of course, we have to be wise too. His movement will be very, very restricted and secretive, and then well calculated. Sometimes we might not say something on air here so that we don't have people, you know, because we know in our midst like this, we have people who actually have allowed the devil to enter into them to actually deal with some circumstances. But the truth about it is that Mazi Nnamdi must first enter into Biafra land because it endorses and signifies our freedom. He must get into Biafra land first. Then wherever he's got, of course, he must go receive his treatment very well because we're going to check him very well. We're going to test him very well, make sure that then we understand what has been put in his body and all of those details. But wherever Mazi Nnamdi will be, Biafra land, as much as he enters Biafra land, he is safe. Nothing can happen to him in Biafra land until he goes anywhere for the treatment. Until he goes out for the treatment, nothing will happen to him. So all we owe him is just to pray for him and everything will be in place. So, okay, just don't worry yourself about that. Don't worry yourself about that. Should Onyendu visit Biafra land immediately? Yes, it is significant. His visit of Biafra land immediately is significant because that significance endorses our freedom and proves that we are free. It endorses his freedom. It endorses his security. It proves that he is secure. It proves that he is free. Because the land must accept him first. The land of Biafra must accept him first and recognize and restore his authority and his control over Biafra land. The land of Biafra must feel him because the land of Biafra will feel him. It's a spiritual work. The land of Biafra will feel him and then bless him. And then the spiritual will endorse the freedom and make it functional. So it is a great significance, to us. Okay, and watching it. I'm so worried that the zoo might be planning evil against it to avoid assassination. That's my concern. Yes, I understand your concern, but don't be scared about that. The land will secure him first. Thank you, Nedu. Thank you for that applause. Thank you so much. Now, the land of Biafra, the joy in the youth fundraising was overwhelming. Anyone who wasn't there should go and watch the program, enjoy, and could heal a sick heart. MNK is safer in Biafra land. Yes, he's safer in Biafra land. Very, very safe. It's spiritual, my brother. Machineke, it's spiritual. Just understand that it's spiritual. We understand the evils. We are not ignorant of the devices of the enemy. Do you know what David said? David said, "Thou preparest a table before me in the presence of my enemy." Very spiritual. Very, very significant and spiritual. The evil Fulani government and all their southeast politicians might be planning evil after his release. Now, do you know that the land of Biafra has rejected the politicians? They are just living on borrowed time. They are living on borrowed time. What is going to befall them will cost years to tingle. Will cost years to be shocked. As much as Nnamdi Kanu is concerned, when he gets into Biafra land, it will send their condemnation. It will endorse their condemnation. This thing we are doing is more of spiritual. That is why I'm telling you about the tactics that is resident in mysteria or mystery. That is why I wanted to come with the issue of mystery today, because when we understand the place of mystery, we are not going to worry about some stuff. David said, "The Lord prepares a table before me in the presence of my enemies." Where God is going to prepare the table for Nnamdi Kanu is in Biafra land. As soon as he enters, the enemies will shiver, and then he will be fortified, because the spirit of the land of Chukwu Okike is on him. And then his head will be anointed, his cup will run over, and then the enemies will be destroyed. So don't be afraid, don't be shaken. That is why we demand that they send him straight to Afaruku, because we know that once he enters Biafra land, he's secure. We know the games they're playing. As I told you when I began this broadcast, if you didn't get it, go back and listen to it from the beginning. If you were not here, please just go back to listen to what I said initially. The plan is this. We know their plans. They first get the courts, give the courts the judgment, because they know the judgment will make, they know we're reasonable people. The judgment will make us reason. The judgment will make us soft pedal. So they make the appeal court give the judgment. The judgment is that, okay, Nnamdi Kanu is released, he's acquitted, he's discharged. And then, of course, like the Takia program, Malami will now come and now say, yes, we have to, the court have given the judgment, but there are some things we need to clarify, so we're going to appeal it. They will use it to access the tension, access what we're going to do, our reaction, and all of that. Remember, the reason why they got the court to make the pronouncement is because they don't want to look weak by releasing Nnamdi Kanu based on political solution. So they're going to use the courts as a means. That is why their masked man who is ruling them said that they want the courts to take the court process to take its due course. That is why he said the court will handle that matter. He's not going to talk about Nnamdi Kanu's case. But now they have seen the tension coming. So they decided to make the court speedy up and say something quickly and acquit him quickly. Now they did that before the election, getting close to the election, so that they will appease our minds. We will now relax. When we now relax, they will now feel, okay, the court have said it. Hey, the court, yeah, we know that the court is obeying the rule of law. We know that the court have stood up to their strength. We know that the court is up and doing. We will now begin to have confidence in the facts of the court, because they know that initially we don't have confidence in the courts. We have said that the courts cannot give us judgment, but we have forced them by our action to make them determine and make the court give that judgment, knowing fully well that they feel that we should also uphold the courts, and at the same time they don't want to look weak releasing him without the courts. So they push it to the courts, and then they still want to play their game of Takia. They now send Malami, or whatever his name is. He now comes to say they're going to appeal it. They want to study our actions. They want to see what we're going to do. At the same time, they want to make it look like, hey, this thing is not. We are actually standing tall to this. We're not giving in because of your words. We're not giving in because you are fighting. We're not giving in because you said water. We're only giving in because the courts have decided. Now they push it to the Supreme Court. The Supreme Court can decide to say, no, we reject it. We reject the appeal. Release him. Now that is all they plan, so that it will look like, okay, when they are releasing him, it is just that the court said it. It's not because they are weak. I don't know whether you understand. I really don't believe that Nnamdi is safer in Biafra land. As you have said, my reason is that it's people from the same Biafra land that betrayed him and sold him out to the zoo. No one is trusted for now. Yes, my brother, I understand your fears, but don't be afraid. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is safe in Biafra land. If you know the things of the spirit, you know Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is safe in Biafra land. He must touch on Biafra land, even if he must not stay there. But he must touch on Biafra land first. As I told you, he's going to come to Biafra land first before anywhere else he's going to go will be determined, which of course will be a secret movement and be determined by the activities of those who are concerned. Why our leader MNK is safer in Biafra land is that before you hurt him in Biafra land, you must first bring down every Biafran, which is not possible. That is one of the code, my brother. Wachineke. You heard what Emmanuel said? You must first bring down every Biafran. Do you know that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is now more secure? There are more people who are ready to lay down their lives for him now. If you know what is happening in the field, my brother, you will know that more people are ready to lay down their lives. Forget about these few people like what you're saying, including his so-called barrister. Forget about these people. They are few. My brother Okenwa, forget about all these people. They are few. Forget about all these people. They are few. Edith, you explained to us well. Great man. Thank you so much, Edith. They do. Thank you for that compliment. Forget about the few. Forget about what's his name now? Ejiofor and his team. They are few. Every Biafran is ready to lay down their life. So that is why Biafra land is safe. Very, very safe. In fact, safer than Lagos, safer than Abuja. Safer than any other place. Safe in Biafra land. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu is safe. Once he enters Biafra land, you will see what's going to happen. You see what's going to happen. So don't be afraid, my brother. I know your fears. We understand your fears. But just plunge, allow your fears to be there, and then plunge your mind into the realm of the spirit. You will get to understand what we're saying. Thank you so much, Edith Nedu. Thank you. Let me read another comment from Abba Ogidi. Anyone stand on true spirit of Biafra land will guide the person. Yes, that's it. The reason why I talk confidently like this is because I know the spirit of Biafra is guiding me. I receive death threats. I receive attacks, but I know the spirit of Biafra is guiding me. So as much as what is guiding me is higher than me and higher than anybody who thinks they think they can take my life or do anything to me, then I'm sure and confident that I am secure. Because all I need to be secure is not my own volition. It's not my own beliefs or my own faith or my own courage or my own strength, but by something that's higher than me. That is why I'm talking about the issue of mystery today, which I'm going to continue on Tuesday, because by tomorrow we're going to be having, our guest, Prince Ezem Ihanacho, by 1 p.m. Biafra time, and he's going to be speaking with us some revelational things. There are some critical things he's going to be speaking about tomorrow, and you're going to hear them tomorrow. 1 hour time with him, you're going to be hearing some explosive things. The reason why we decided to begin to do our broadcast differently from this Biafra Global Network is because we want to reorientate our people to have the right mindset as we go into freedom. And that is why, because what God has blessed me with is the ability to preach the word, to speak the word, and to give me the grace to actually interpret some stuff that have to do with scripture, with what we're doing, because we are part of scripture and what we are is the scripture. And because of that, I feel that my altar is here because this is where we worship Chukwu, this is where we worship him, and this is where we speak about him. So my Sunday work is always here. I speak about the work of God here on this platform. And as much as Biafrans are receiving it greatly, it is very, very carried. Chisom says, is it the same Faruku that they attempted to kill him, which caused the death of his parents and many other Biafrans? My sister, is it Chisom? I think you are a lady, right? You should be a lady. Yes, it is still that same place. And he is protected. Don't worry. See, I've told you people not to worry about that. All you need to do is pray. Just pray for Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. Just keep praying for him. I woke up this morning, I prayed for him. I prayed for him. I prayed for him last night. I keep praying for him because I have received revelation. I don't want to, sometimes I don't like talking about all this revelation thing because sometimes our people, pastors and all of that have abused this concept of, I see in the realm of the spirit, God told me this, God told me that, God told me this, and all of this stuff, One true stand in the spirit. And Chisom, is it the same Afro? Okay. Absolutely correct. Tina said, absolutely correct. Yes. Now, so I've received people who told me that, do you know why I'm doing this thing confidently? Because even from the mouth of people whom I don't even know, God have spoken to me. They called me and said, God told me this, God told me that. God showed us this in the revelation. God showed us where you were feeding Mazin and becoming in the revelation. God showed us this. They tell me so many things, and it confirms what God is telling me to do for Biafra, to lay my life as a servant and speak to the people, to help the people receive the grace of God through this. So what I'm doing here is spiritual. So when I tell you that he's protected, just believe it. You don't need to understand God's ways to understand, how he operates. But all you need to do is to have faith in his ways to understand how he operates. You don't need to understand God's ways to know how he operates. You need only to have faith in his ways to know how he operates. I don't know whether you understand that. That's one. It's one thing to understand God's ways. It's another thing to have faith in his ways, which you don't understand, because you can never understand God's ways. You can never understand his ways. Do you know that Moses went before Pharaoh? Moses thought he was going to die. He went before Pharaoh, and Pharaoh was accepting him and talking to him, even begging him to take away the plague. He went before Pharaoh. He was not killed, because you know why? There's a standard mission of mystery over his life. Mystery has a path or a part deposited in him which the natural must submit to. Every natural occurrence has an active connection to supernatural design. So for supernatural design to play into the natural sphere of revelation, it must juxtaposition, it must make sense, and it must submit to the supernatural. So anything natural does, it relies on supernatural endorsement. I don't know whether you understand that. If you don't understand, just let me know. You'll understand it. It shocked Emmanuel said it shocked you that even the old woman in Biafra land would be glad to wade an AK-47 in defense of MNK. Those with him are far, far, far more than those against us. Yes. And you know why they will do that? It is not because they are thinking of them. It's not because they actually have what it takes, but because the spirit of Biafra, that mystery, possesses them. Why I'm doing what I'm doing now is because there's a possession by the spirit. I'm possessed. Because if I want to look at the threats coming in, or the actions, or the things, the fear of what is going to happen to me, I will not come and open my face online and start talking about a government, talking about a system, talking about a cabal, talking about a racket. But because of that spirit, the spirit possesses you and you speak, and then the spirit protects you. Shalom, 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 shalom. I see shalom here. I think it's from one of Aubrey's dishes. Aubrey's dishes. Shalom, shalom, Kelechi. Thank you so much, Aubrey's. I think this should be on the name of your restaurant or something, or your catering and business or something. Aubrey's dishes. I want to understand that. So, yes. Thank you so much, Aubrey's dishes. Chisom, then it's not now. Then it's not now. Okay, you're responding to that, and then that was then when they attacked him then, but now, not now. Anybody, anything you see, even including animals, will protect Mazin and Bikano because the spiritual has called them up. Do you know the issue of Balaam? You know the issue of Balaam. When Balaam was going to, was contracted by Balak in the book of Numbers. You go to Numbers chapter 16, and so you see the story from chapter 13 also from there. Read on to 16 and all of that. You see the story there. Do you know what happened? Even a donkey spoke. The animals in Biafra land will be invoked by the spiritual to protect Mazin and Bikano. That's why Jesus told Jesus told the people when the people were shouting hallelujah, Hosanna, blessed is he that comes in the name of the Lord. When Jesus was walking on the donkey, was sitting on the ass, and the donkey was taking him into Jerusalem. The people said, tell these people to stop screaming all these kind of things. Tell them to stop saying hallelujah. He said, if you stop this once, even the stones will cry out. See, there's something about spiritual things that we have to understand as Biafrans. Spiritual things are very deeper than what we understand. So forget about it. Mazin Nnamdi is secure. I'm just reading out comments now because I'm about rounding off. So anything you're doing in this world, if hand of God is not involved in it, nothing enemies can do to you. That is it, my brother. That is it. So you must understand the place of the hand of God. That place of the hand of God is that place of mystery in your natural world. That place of mystery in your natural world. There's something supernatural. Why do you think that you are blinking your eyes? Why do you think you are seeing? Why do you think if you take these eyes now, open it and look at it, you will not see nothing. You'll be wondering, how is this thing seeing? But there's a supernatural force that makes it see. At death, when that supernatural force is taken away, this eye will be open. It won't see anything. This hand will be there. It won't pick anything. Everything about this mouth will be there. It won't say anything. In fact, it start decomposing. You know why? See this body now that you see, that it's refusing to decompose, that you have been wearing for years. It's not decomposing. What do you think makes it not decompose? The spirit, the spiritual, that spiritual part that has taken over its cells, its tissues, keeps it healthy year in, year out. But let the spirit just go off now. Within few hours, within few minutes, smell, it will start smelling, it will start decomposing. Doesn't it tell you something? It tells you that there's something about the spiritual that we are taking for granted. Now, I wanted to tell us something about the difference between developed nations, why they are not having peace. I just remembered now. Thank God I remembered. I think I'm going to say something that before I close. God cannot send you on an errand and leave you unprotected. Yes, that is it. There's no way you can take up a job designed by the realm of the spirit or by the spiritual God and then be thinking that you are going to execute that job by your natural self. The spiritual gives you the order and the job. He equips you with what you need because you actually are going to fulfill the order of the spiritual using spiritual equipments. And one of the spiritual equipment, sorry, I said equipments. It's supposed to be equipment, plural, singular, equipment. One of the spiritual equipment is protection. Protection is a spiritual equipment that guards you all through the period of your calling so that you can never be taken down by anybody. You must fulfill that spiritual assignment by that spiritual equipment, which keeps you effectively functional until you are through with the assignment. That is the spirit of protection. You must understand that part of it. So Mazin Nnamdi is secure. Yes, it's my daughter's business. The name is oh yeah, wow. Yeah. I know that Obre's dishes. I know it has to do with catering or restaurant, basically restaurant, but dishes, restaurant. Oh wow, that's good. Your daughter's business. God will bless and prosper that business. In the name of Yehoshua Mashiach. You know why I always say Yehoshua Mashiach? I don't know what Britain and all of that mean by Jesus, because I don't know who they are actually talking about, because his original name anyway, his Hebrew name is Yehoshua, Mashiach. So I want to call him by that original name because I don't know what Britain mean when they brought the Bible to us. I don't know what they mean by that name, Jesus, they brought. Yes, Jesus could mean, if I say Jesus, it could mean also Yehoshua to me, but I don't know the idea of bringing it. I don't know which Jesus they are calling, why they call him Jesus, why they are calling him Jesus, even if the name Jesus can be the English version of Yehoshua. But for them, I don't know what it means. So I want to call the original name so that I know that I'm on the original path. Forgive me for that, my people. Okenwa says Biafrans don't have any trust whatsoever in this so-called cream, bleaching cream barrister. I know that's what you want to say, of the Dios criminals, who is now promoting the e-frogs and coming out to play games against the dragon. Yeah, why would we have anybody who has trust in that man should have themselves examined, because the man is an agent. The man is an agent. The man is a demonic agent. Honestly, the man is piecing, but we know that he's going to suffer the consequences because he has actually beaten more than he can chew. All this while he has been endorsing error. We keep looking at him, overlooking him, but this time around he came now to play too far because he wants to set a template for Mazin Nnamdi to come and follow. You know, he wants to set that template so that Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will now follow that template, you know, trying to endorse evil so that he will continue to get his criminal monies, because they are you know, it's a racket. You know, his people remain there so that when the money, as Mazi Nnamdi Kanu returns, people will now begin to pay back money into where, you know, into Mazi. Then this one's now will begin to do the spending, because as they have been doing it before, which of course he was making very good money from. So he wants that team to remain so that he can continue his stealing. You know, I'm also possessed too, Pastor Kale. At my workplace, home, you don't use Biafra enemy to play with me. My God, I like this. I like this. This is a spirit. This is a spirit. Every one of us have to be possessed, you know, because the spirit will protect you. That doesn't mean you behave carelessly anyways. That doesn't mean we go and do expose ourselves. No. But of course, David was anointed, but he had to also shield himself from Saul to be killed. So, but the spirit protects in spite of that, you know, but still we are wise. We are wiser than, you know, we are wise, and, you know, and as Dove, you know, and, you know, is it this? What's it called? Be smart. Well, how is that thing said? Is it? I've forgotten that stuff. Can somebody remind me? Is it wise as dove and smart as the serpent? Oh my God, how can I forget this thing? So, anyways, it's one of those things. I'll remember. One Udo. Thank you so much, my brother. Okay, you're talking to okay, why is talking to Agba Ogidi, okay? One Udo the reggae. Look, let's listen to Edith. I understand you, Mazi. Okay, thank you, Ms. Moran Hanks. Replying to Mrs. Adazion. Say good evening, Mrs. Adazion. Okay, Mr. Adazion, a greeting from Mrs. Moran Hanks there. Agba Ogidi Okenwa Birikwa, my brother, from different mother. Remain blessed, okay? So we're having the responses of people here. For God has not given us the spirit of fear, oh my God, but of power, love, and of a sound mind. Power, protection, love, mandate, sound mind, ability. Power, protection, love, content, love, weapon. Because the weapon of love actually covers a multitude of sin. Sound mind. So you should take that scripture, everyone, and know what we're into, you know, and know what we're into. 2 Timothy 1, verse 7. Brace, he said amen to that prayer. Yeah, thank you. And you said, amen. Okay, Yahushua Mashiach. Yes, that's the name. Yahushua Mashiach. Yes, that's the name. That's the name we know him of. I don't know what Britain mean by that name they gave us. You know. Okay, Miss Moran Hanks and Miss Adaza and say you're blessed. Okay, so I'm disappointed in that pocket liar. Please don't be disappointed. Anybody could be used by the devil in this thing. That's why we don't get so emotional about it, so we don't get into trouble. Amen. Miss Moran Hanks says, okay, let's see what Emmanuel says, yes, I prefer the Yehoshua Mashiach. I pray with that now. The barrister is using Mary Kay to bleach his skin at age is not to be taken seriously. Honestly, somebody was telling me about that yesterday. You know, we were discussing about that yesterday night. You know, people are just, you know, how can a man be bleaching? For God's sake, you sit down bleaching, your wife too will sit down bleaching. I don't understand that. We don't take him seriously. That's why he's behaving that way. I know one man who's one we call Alaji. You know, he was, I said it yesterday, I talked about it yesterday. He looks like him too, the bleaching, big, full like that. But bleaching, his name is, we call him Alaji, his name is Alaji. He was a Wema bank manager where we were living then, our family bank banker then, because he is in charge of everything that has to do with our resources in the bank. Alaji. Bleaching, looking like him, you know, and very, very Korean. They're always Korean, that's Alaji, very Korean, you know. So that's it. Wise as serpents, harmless as dove. Peaceful as dove, yes. Now I remember harmless as dove, yes. Peaceful as dove. You must be wise as serpent and harmless as dove. You can imagine how this thing just escaped my mind. Peaceful as dove. So we must understand that. And let me read this on a Pascal. I didn't see you at your youth fundraising yesterday. No, I was not on the platform, but I was watching, observing. You know, I don't, because I know that the platform is full, so there's no need jumbling that place. I just stay at the ground and watch as every other Biafran, you know, because the work is going on well. Maybe you guys want me to be showing up I can decide to be showing up, you know, in that on the platform there, but I feel that it's already full. We have lots of people doing the work. We must not be everywhere, you know, but I was just observing, you know, I was watching also as everybody was watching, you know, watching and at the same time doing some other things, coming in, watching and all of that. And I was with everyone, you know, observing, reading comments and knowing what's going on. So we're all together, you know. I just always think that there's no need for me to just appear on screen, you know. That's why with wish wise as serpent, you want to say, but humble as dove, yes. Wise as serpent. Iwunne, thank you. Iwunne, 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 Iwunne. Which one is it? Is it Iwunne or Iwunne? Because the two mean different things. One is a question, one is a comment. God, good evening, Wachineke. Umuchineke, okay. Umuchineke. Uzamaka has appeared and she's greeting us. You know, Nicholas Uzamaka. Welcome, Nicholas Uzamaka. So now I wanted to say something before we round off this. I'm going to say this. Now, do you know why developed nations are still living in fear, death, endorsing evil, endorsing things that are killing them, that is killing them, destroying them? They endorse things like gay marriage, endorse things like abortion. They keep doing the wrong because they actually went after reasoning, you know, common sense, reasoning out things without considering the spiritual aspect of control. Let me explain. Britain today started with the concept of thinking, reasoning. They said they want to change their system by reasoning. Formerly, they always loved religion and all of that. They did all their works in religion, but they never considered the aspect of reasoning because God has given us also the faculty of reasoning. But rather than considering the faculty of reasoning, they also allow themselves Yahushua Mashiach, yes, by Obris. Yes, they rather than considering the aspect of reasoning, they rather than considering the aspect of the spiritual aspect and also marry it with a part of reasoning, they decided to go after reasoning. So they make everything common sense. Oh, and these ones want to be gay. Allow them to be gay. It's common sense. It's their right. Let them be gay. Oh, these ones want abortion. Allow them to commit abortion. After all, it's their body. They do it. They now endorse so many things. Oh, don't flog any child. Once the child, they will tell the child, if once your parents just shout on you, call the police. We'll come and pick you and take you away from the child. So parents are afraid of training their child. They spare the rod and spoil the child. So the nations begin to get developed technologically, but morally, they begin to demoralize. They are demoralized and they are restricted. That disrupts the process. That destroys the system. That makes them very, very insecure. Now young people can carry gun around. They can shoot anybody, and before you know it, something happens. So many things going wrong. You know why? Because they actually dwelled on reasoning, the natural side of life, rather than also including the spiritual side. That is why in Biafra, we are including both the spiritual and the national operation. We are going to be dealing on the spiritual side of Biafra and the natural side of Biafra. So as much as we are looking forward to developing the skills, the ideas, and the concepts we have, we are also going to be looking at our natural side, our spiritual side, where we begin to understand that without God, we can't do all of these things. Wachineke says, okay, Wachineke, Muhammad Abbas in Kuwait was ranting on Radio Biafra yesterday that they are all afraid of the coming out of Onyendu Radio Biafra of MNK have turned to become Nsima Radio betrayers, news of Biafra. Okay, he said he was ranting on Radio Biafra yesterday that they are all afraid of coming out. of the coming out of Onyendu. They don't even need to say it. They're afraid. They know what they know the consequences. That is why they have gone spiritual. Do you know they went spiritual? To make sure that he is down, to make sure he doesn't come out. They are doing so many spiritual things to confuse his mind. That is why Barrister Joffo came to lay the background, to make it look, so that when he comes, he will now hear in public, oh, these people did great things for me. My wife did some things for me. Oh, these ones did this for me. They worked hard. Ikenga, all of them, Chikedozium, they worked hard. They are the ones who actually made this thing happen. They stood tall for you. So they are doing the spiritual fetish things against Mazi Nnamdi Kanu. They did that spiritual fetish things. They know that they need also to come to lay a background so that when he comes out, he will sit on that template and then thinking that spiritual fetish things will work against him. That's why you see that sometimes they are not stable. They are not stable in what they say because they don't know what is going to become of them. They are thinking that yes, this thing may happen. Mazi Nnamdi Kanu will come out. They don't know what is going to happen. Will this juju we have done work? We have buried this animal. We have buried that animal. We have done this. When he comes, he should still endorse us. When he comes, he will listen to what we say. When he comes, he will only do what we tell him. But they are still scared because they know this thing is beyond them. Because we understand the spiritual side they're coming from, and we have taken control of that spiritual side. So we have kept them under that. There's no way they can defeat the truth. Kale, have you seen where Nigerian army was cutting off a young? Oh my God! I saw that thing yesterday. I saw it. When I saw it, I just removed it quickly. Why the boy was still alive on someone's Twitter? I saw it yesterday. Please, every nation that has conscience, especially Israel, must save. You know that Twitter had to block it. I think Twitter blocked it because I went to Mazi Simon's tweet today, and he was saying, please Twitter allow this. But it seems they blocked it. But I saw it yesterday. It was already sent to me yesterday afternoon, and I shivered. I shivered. So, how can a military person take knife and take the laws into their hands and cut off somebody's penis? The level of impunity. That's why I told you that democracy is Takia in that zoo. Anybody who has conscience and is fighting freedom, after seeing all of this evil, may that kind of evil befall them and their families. Because that thing is so gruesome. That is why we have said we are living. Because we know the spiritual implication of staying under the zoo. We know the spiritual implication. I'm going to stop here for today. I'm going to explain more on why the developed nations are down, thinking that they are up. And why they are thinking that they will keep the only way they think that they can be up is by subjugating Africa. And the more they think they are going to subjugate Africa, the more they are going to be down. Because Africa will go up and they will be down. Because every action they take to subjugate Africa is actually putting Africa on the top. Because we have decided this time around we're not coming only by the natural. I saw it today. It's there now. Okay, it's there. Okay, I'll go and look at it after now and see again whether it's there, because he actually told them to allow it. So we are going to be looking at this, and tomorrow we're going to be having our guest Prince Ezen Ihanacho, and he's going to be speaking on something very crucial. There's some crucial questions I'm going to ask him that will open your eyes to some facts. Please join us 1 p.m. Biafra time tomorrow. Join us, please. Join us in that. And please, I want to encourage you, please subscribe to this channel and also like this video. Like it, click the like button so that it can register on the same that it has been liked, and then also share on all your social media platforms, including to your enemies, so that they will listen and get sense and be restored. Because we intend, God says that my will is not for anybody to perish, but that all might come into repentance, and all of that. So that's part of our wish, that everybody who is today fighting the truth will repent and become, and restored, become restored. I want to see what is written. It said, thank God for using you. I can boldly say, brother, everyone listening today's program received something, because I did. God bless your home and wisdom, courage and shame, all who plot your shame. Amen, my brother. Thank you so much, Alex. Uche. Thank you so much for that prayers, and I'm delighted that I actually spoke things that through God helping me, I was able to say things that would bless the lives of the people. That's what I do. Once I open the screen, I say, Lord, teach me what to tell the people. Let it not be what I have thought in my head. Just tell me what to tell the people. And thank God that you actually did and you received what you received also. And I know that someone has received. The DOs thought in many cases as dumb as they are, to just believe that whatever that will cook and tell him without watching the evidence videos, they should wait for it. The result is near. Tina Martin's. Tina, where they are hoping on is the spiritual things they have been doing. They have been going into so many juju. They are doing so many juju and evil. So that is where they are hoping on. That is why we said this is a mystery and we are countering them spiritually. Because it takes every one of us to become spiritually, especially those of us who are on the truth. By the time we begin to engage them in our spiritual realm, we are defeating them. That is why I decided to talk about spiritual things to them, mystery today. So that is where we're defeating them. Remain blessed. Thank you, Mrs. Adazian. Thank you for that. And I say he said to that, amen. I want to be bearing. In fact, I'm thinking of changing Ambrose, but I'll do that when Biafra comes, because I want to bear. My name should be traditional. I want to change my name to my local name. Everything now, because I don't want to. These people have really dealt with us, and we have decided to take back what belonged to us. Thanks for the time, sir. We shall be there tomorrow. Thank you so much, Emmanuel. I know you will always be there. And of course, everyone here too will be there. Tomorrow, we shall have a time, 1 p.m. Thank you so much. God bless you, Mazi. Thank you, Edith Nedu. Thank you too for staying in tune. And thank you for staying with me here. God bless my brother. I wish you the best. Thank you so much, Agbaugidi. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. It is unbelievable. Aubrey's Dishes says it's unbelievable. Yes, very, very unbelievable, the things that are happening. That a military will take a knife and cut somebody's private part, without a law, a court of law, instigating that. They do the things they do, without justification, without any form of. That tells you that we are operating a Sharia system. It is a Sharia system. It is a Sharia system. And our people must understand this. Until we begin to understand all of these, we are going to be in our shame. I changed my name in 2018, 4 years ago. Wow. I changed mine. I decided to start using Kelechi, even if on my Facebook, I still use Harry, and some other places too, Harry, Ambrose. But I decided to start using Kelechi. I think I started using that, was it in the year 2000? Or 2000 or last year, beginning last year. And I want to change everything totally. I'm going to change everything totally because we have to begin to identify with our source. Because these people have made us slaves. So to the point that we are ashamed of our own names. We are ashamed of our own names. We are ashamed of our own names. We will no more be ashamed of our names. So please, we are out there. We have to begin to identify ourselves as Biafrans and take up our names and our language as seriously as it can be. No, it is a shambolic system. Yes, it is a shambolic system. Very, very shambolic. Very, very shambolic. Very, very shambolic. In fact, oh my God, we'll save much of this tomorrow, because when I start talking now, it's going to take. I don't want to actually take you much of your time today. I want to actually close it early today so that we can prepare for other times. I know we are using data to observe this and all of that, especially those of us who are in the zoo. So God bless you. Really good, real good. Mazi Nnamdi will face a very, very difficult challenge when it comes. He should just relax for 2 months under medication and at the same time go through all the videos of the happening on his absence. Yes, that's what he's going to do. That the same thing happened in 2017 when he went off. When he came in, he had to go on the ground. He started looking at everything, observing. And you discover that when he came, it actually took time. And for him, it took him time to actually make some decisions because he needed to get facts right, and all of that. So he did all of that and then so he's going to do the same thing. He's going to relax, rest very well, go through the details, go through everything, and then begin to know how to handle things. And God, of course, he doesn't have much time because we're going to our freedom and we'll keep doing what we're doing on his behalf as he rests. And then when we are announcing the freedom, he will now lead us into it. That's it. That's it. God bless and protect you, bro. Thank you so much, Iwunne. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, Iwunne. Let me say, even I think I prefer that one. Before he speak out. Okay, yes, you're correct. He has to rest and relax before he speaks out. So all that will be done. All my 6 children only have Biafran Igbo names. Wow, wow, wow. It's a bonus. It's a plus. It's actually a very good one. It's actually a very good one. It's actually a very good one. We have to begin to pass all this on to our children to understand that because your name is Harry does not make you special. You're only a slave. Because sometimes we look at it, wow, that name doesn't sound nice. It doesn't sound, trending. It doesn't sound polished. How can I be bearing Ogechuku? It doesn't sound trending. But that is you. That is what makes you unique. Ogechuku, if you bear Harry, it simply means that you have actually allowed them to make you a slave and even give you a slave name. Remember when the Hebrew children went to Babylon? They changed their name. They changed their names from to Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, whereas their real name is I've forgotten Belshazzar and something. I've forgotten their real names. You see, we have become used to their slave names that we don't even know their real names. We must identify ourselves with our real names. They change their names. Change of name is part of slavery, because when you are captured, they change your name, they change your identity, they change your culture, they do everything. That's why in Nigeria we don't have culture. That's why we are living confused, because people don't even know their right from their left, because they don't have a particular culture. They don't have a particular culture. They don't have a particular culture. Which culture is Nigeria culture? You don't know. That's why we're confused. That's why they reason like fish. To me, MNK has done all he needed to do, and he will come out. He will give his approval to the young persons on fire to restore Biafra. Yes, that's why I said he's going to relax and all of that. And then all he's going to do is that he's just going to lead us into it. As we declare Biafra, he will declare it, and he's going to be standing to lift that flag. That is the work. Oh my! I've seen Lolo the lady. Wow! It seems you're just joining now. You're welcome. Watching the different media warrior. God bless. Thank you so much, Lolo the lady. Thank you for joining. I've been wondering. I've not seen your message, so I know that you have just shown up. Maybe you have been busy. Thank you so much for joining. You can listen to this again from top and get the message that is in it. Tomorrow by 1 p.m. we'll be here together, and we're going to be looking at so many facts. We're going to be having our guests, and he's going to be speaking on critical things. So please invite other people to join us so that we can do all of this. Sorry for the background noise. There's a kind of drilling job happening in the next compound here, just behind this window. So the noise is so loud. And thank you so much all for joining. My name is Kelechi. I'm still bearing Ambrose for now until I'm able to change everything. My name is Kelechi Ambrose, and this is Biafra Global Network. Please subscribe to this channel and share the video to all your social media platforms. On all your social media platforms, tell your friends, tell your loved ones, tell your enemies to join us in the next time so that we can have this. Tomorrow, 1 p.m. Biafra time, join us, and let's hope. Remember, we have given them today as a deadline to release Nnamdi Kanu. And so they will hear from us from tomorrow. They will hear from us. Just get yourself prepared. Just please relax your mind. Know that the spirit is in control, and know that, yes, just join now. And they will, I know you just joined. Yeah, I know you just joined because I've not seen your message. Thank you so much, Tina Martin Sauce. Thank you. Yet it will be a good idea for him. Yes, it will be a good idea for MNK to allow MSC to continue with the energy. Of course, he knows. That's why he says he's bringing a new dimension. He knows what he can do. He knows MSC is there, so he's relaxed. When he comes out, MNC will be pushing it, and we'll be pushing it with the autopilot team. We'll be pushing it on his behalf. His own is to relax. We're going to secure him, give him enough time to relax. And then when we declare Biafra, he's now come and lift the flag and join us into it. So we are secure, he's secure, and we're going to be marching into this together. And of course, we'll be listening to him, and we'll be hearing his broadcast too, because he's going to be speaking that voice we have missed. We're going to be having that voice strong. Sorry, I'm sweating. I don't know why even the fan here is not even giving me because the energy and everything that we use, utilize. And my face is beginning to get bleak because of the it's getting dark here, And sometimes when we come for joint broadcast, my face is so terrible because the lighting becomes very poor, and it was already dark. So sometimes that is why. So it's beginning to get to that level also. So I want to thank you all for joining, and please remember, share this video. Let other people learn what we're learning, and let other people come to terms with what we're doing. By tomorrow 1 p.m. we're going to be here and continue to be strong. Please plan your week, and also be careful and stay safe and be observant. Be your brother's keeper. Make sure you get yourself along in a path of truth. Don't be deceived. Don't allow anybody deceive you. Don't allow anybody mislead you or misdirect you. Make sure you secure your location. Don't expose yourself. Be careful with what you do and all of that. We need all of us to be in Biafra. I want to see some of you someday. Like I'll say, wow, this is Tina Martin's house. This is Lolo, the lady. This is Ephraim Emmanuel. This is wow. We embrace ourselves. This is Wachineke. This is Edith. This is I just want to see what we just see ourselves and we'll be excited, Sorry if I've not called your name because I know we have lots of our people here, So I just believe that God is going to help us, so that we can see ourselves and then we shall rejoice and we shall celebrate, together. God bless you too, my sister. Sit at home continues. Yes, thank you for reminding me. Sit at home continues. Tomorrow's Lola, the lady, has reminded us. Tomorrow is sit at home. It continues. The system, the status quo is static. Nobody changes it. Forget about all this jasham. That's what they want to do. They want to bring some stuff to mislead us and to misdirect us, to make us feel that we are, out of it. Hey, 555. Mazi Paul Umbiko. We are watching. Congratulations to you. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much, my brother. Thank you so much. I'm delighted to see your message. Thank you so much. This is 555 Vision. Please subscribe to that channel. It's a powerful place where you hear some things also that you need to know. Some facts. 555 Vision. Thank you. Yes, I'm riding on behalf of the IPOB team. I'm riding on. Thank you so much, and thank you so much, everyone. Sit at home continues, as our sister has reminded us. Tomorrow we are sitting at home. Everything is intact. Everybody, we are sitting at home. The zoo is playing their games. We also know how to play that dirty game with them. We know we have read them. We know what they can do. And we also have planned. Every plan is intact to take care of every aspect of. We have antidotes to every of their actions. We have antidotes to every of their foolishness. We have antidote to everything they think is misleading or misdirecting. Because we know what playing and we have what it takes to respond to them. We cite you spiritual and spirit. We cite you spirit man. 555 Vision. Oh yeah. We are coming to correct Barrister Joffo. Yeah, so Barrister Joffo is joking. He doesn't know. He has stepped on the tail of the viper. He has this time around. He went too far. We have been overlooking him, but we want to tell him now that we understand the timing of his stuff, and we know what he wants to achieve by the timing. The timing, because Nnamdi is coming out now. He has played it in a great time for them, but we know the timing, so we know the timing, and we are going to take him on, and we're taking him on. Yesterday, I took him on very well. In fact, yesterday's broadcast, almost 90% of it was on him. We took him well, so we're going to take him on all fronts. We take him on. And I want Biafrans to take him on. Wherever you see him, on his post, on his Twitter, everywhere he is, Facebook, take him on. He's a very bad example. It's a very, very bad, corrupt example. It's not it's a very, very bad, corrupt example. We don't condone nonsense. We don't condone nonsense. We're not yes sir people. We don't condone nonsense. We live by truth. Once you deviate, we also take you on at that. I have subscribed. Sit at home continues. Okay, you have subscribed to 555 Vision. Thank you so much for subscribing to it. Yes, Emmanuel Afri has subscribed to 555 Vision. So we continue from there. We keep hearing the mission and the gospel. Let me see the message of Sit at Home continues from Lolo, so that I can put it here so that people can look at it. Sit at Home continues, please. Tomorrow, no going out, on behalf of Nnamdi Kanu and on behalf of our freedom. We are doing it, sacrificing everything we are sacrificing for our freedom and for Nnamdi Kanu. So please stay at home. Tell everyone, even if it has to mean there's no food, stay at home. That's a sacrifice. This man has been out there because of us, and we're going to sacrifice everything for him. Thank you so much for joining. Please, tomorrow 1 p.m. Biafra time, Prince Ezem Ihanacho will be with us, and you're going to hear wonderful things. Stay blessed, stay good, stay wonderful, keep fit, and God bless you real good. Thank you so much.